not in a recession anymore. Biden took us out of that. And the point you're missing,
you're being disingenuous.
Inflation.
You're being
I'm
disingenuous.
not. Inflation is a worldwide
if
phenomenon.
Biden was the president when COVID first hit, what would he have done differently than Trump?
I don't know.
Well, then what are you saying? Nowadays, $20 barely gets you a burger and fries, or maybe a quarter tank of gas. You know what it will get you though? For just $20 a month, you can get unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data from my cell phone company, Pure Talk. And this is top tier coverage of America's most dependable 5G network. I want to make sure you heard that. Pure Talk gives you the same quality of service as AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile, but for half the cost. The average family saves almost $1,000 a year, all with no contracts and no activation fees. You can bring your phone or get great deals on the latest iPhones and Androids. To make a switch, dial pound 250 and say keyword Brandon Tatum. When you do, you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Choose a wireless company who shares our values, who supports our military and veterans, who creates American jobs, and who refuses to advertise on fake news networks. Instead, they pay us. Dial pound 250 and say keyword Brandon Tatum and make the switch today so you can actually afford the burger and fries. That's pound 250, pound 250, and say keyword Brandon Tatum. I got someone calling in, Kevin from Upland, California. Welcome back to the Officer Tatum Show.
Hello, good afternoon. Nice to talk to you again. Hey, I want to disagree with you on the economic condition of America right now. You keep preaching, and the Republicans preach how horrible it is. The stock market is record high. Unemployment amongst blacks has not been this low since the 1960s. That's including the Trump years. Trump didn't get black unemployment this low. Job creation has been steadily increasing ever since Biden took office. And most importantly, if you look at the last 3 years of the Obama economy, it outperformed the first 3 years of the Trump economy. You can talk about inflation. We won't even discuss.
You're coming on the radio and you're just saying things that's unverified. Let's look at it like this. If the economy was doing like you said, then why is it the number one issue for Americans today is the economy? Why is inflation the way it is?
Issue. Okay, inflation is a problem. Biden has brought inflation down.
Hold the phone. I'm running out of time. Hold the phone. I'll be back after the break. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, welcome back to the Officer Tatum Show. Let me just say something before I bring the caller back in. One thing that I think that people are being incredibly disingenuous about is that you should compare Donald Trump's administration only in the first 3 years. Because COVID was an unprecedented global pandemic that had tremendous ramifications. Like, people attribute job loss to Donald Trump. They said he lost 2.9 million jobs. How do you control job loss when you shut all the businesses down in the United States of America? Many states were shutting down, even when Trump told them to open up, causing people to lose their jobs. Many of them jobs never came back because of a pandemic. Had nothing to do with Trump. But yet they attribute those things to him. These are the things that make it hard to stomach. Because if you look at the unemployment for blacks, traditionally it's been going down year over year. It went down the lowest under Trump. And it's still a confusing matrix because you look at today and they go, well, the unemployment is down. People don't have jobs though. Are you saying full-time jobs or just people that are working? Because part-time labor is up, full-time is down tremendously. But let me get back to Kevin real quick and let him finish his point. Kevin, welcome back to the Officer Tatum Show. You got to make it quick.
Okay, I'll make it quick. Obama handed Trump 7.5 years of growth. That's like handing the ball to him on the 10-yard line, and all he has to do is run it in for the touchdown. And he did for 3 years. This COVID thing.
So none of the policies that Donald Trump implemented. So none of the policies that Donald Trump implemented had any impact on the economy.
Yes, the one policy that had the most impact on the economy from Trump is his handling of COVID. See, Trump.
That's why I can't listen to you, because you're disingenuous.
Wait a minute.
The policies that Donald Trump put into place his first years. Listen, Barack Obama said, hear me out. Barack Obama said that what does Donald Trump have? A magic wand? He's not going to cause the GDP to go up. He's not going to have this economic boom. He said it on national TV.
But for those folks who've lost their job right now because a plant went down to Mexico, that isn't going to make you feel better. And so what we have to do is to make sure that folks are trained for the jobs that are coming in now, because some of those jobs of the past are just not going to come back. And when somebody says, like the person you just mentioned, who I'm not going to advertise for, that he's going to bring all these jobs back. Well, how exactly are you going to do that? What are you going to do? There's no answer to it. He just says, well, I'm going to negotiate a better deal. Well, how exactly are you going to negotiate that? What magic wand do you have? And usually the answer is he doesn't have an answer.
So if Barack Obama thought that he was handing Donald Trump a golden egg, why would he get on TV and say that Donald Trump is not going to get the numbers that he's claiming he's going to get? As soon as Donald Trump got in office, they all had to eat crow because Donald Trump's economy went out of the roof. He cut regulations, and he also cut taxes, and we saw an economic boom. You cannot deny that. And if you're saying that Obama passed him a good economy, then Trump passed Biden a good economy.
No.
Trump passed Biden a good economy.
No, Trump passed Biden a recession. Biden's entire economic policies have been repair from the last year of Trump. And
last year of Trump does not count, because you cannot count COVID as the last year of Trump.
Yes, it does count, because
how do we? So Trump shouldn't have shut the country down. Is that did Trump have anything to do? Did Trump have anything to do with California keeping their schools closed?
I don't think so. No. But what does that have to do with Biden?
That has to do with jobs. That has to do with the economy.
That's my whole point. Inflation is a worldwide phenomenon. Pent-up demand, number one. Supply chain issues. It caused inflation to rise.
How is that Trump's fault? How is a global pandemic Trump's fault? How is a global pandemic Trump's fault? How is a global pandemic Trump's fault?
How is a
global pandemic? We're not in a global pandemic under Biden.
No, we're not. We were. 4 years ago today, this country was locked down. Ask yourself how well you were doing 4 years ago today. You probably weren't even working under Trump.
I was doing great.
But
I made the biggest amount of money I've ever seen in my life during 2020. So
4 years ago.
I'm not the guy.
Americans did it. Under the last year of Trump, we had a recession.
Under COVID-19, my man. COVID-19. If Biden was the president during COVID, what do you think would have happened?
Biden was the president during COVID.
Not at the height of COVID.
Out of the recession. We're not in a recession anymore. Biden took us out of that. And the point you're missing.
You're being disingenuous. You're being disingenuous.
Inflation is a worldwide phenomenon.
If Biden was the president when COVID first hit, what would he have done differently than Trump?
I don't know.
Well, then what are you saying?
I'm going with facts. Trump handed Biden a turd. Biden had to fix that turd, and that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. Inflation is.
That's why his ratings are so low. That's why his ratings are so low. The lowest it's ever been for any Democrat, and under Hispanics, he had the lowest rate of any Democrat I know of. Hold the phone. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me just explain to you how unemployment rate is measured. It says the unemployment rate measures the percentage of U.S. employees who are part of the labor force but are unemployed. In March of 2024, non-farm payroll employment increased by 303 100,000 with gain in government health care and construction. So the unemployment number isn't necessarily if you're working. It's people who are active in the workforce, yet they can still be unemployed. Like this is the thing that really kind of bothers me to a certain degree, is that it's disingenuous like any other statistical data. How do you figure out if the economy is doing well? How people are responding in the economy. There's not a single person that will call into my radio show today, even the gentleman that called in, that will argue that his 401k looked better under Biden than it did under Donald Trump. There is nobody on planet Earth that'll say, I pay less for groceries under Joe Biden than I did under Donald Trump. Nobody's going to say that inflation was better under Biden than it was under Donald Trump. Under Donald Trump, even in counting all 4 of his years, the S&P 500 went up 67%. You know how crazy that is for your 401k? Man, I'm telling you, and they're disingenuous about unemployment. They go, Donald Trump lost 2 million jobs. Well, that was COVID. And then Joe Biden gained 2 million jobs growth. They just got their jobs back. You can't add that to Joe Biden's resume and then, detract it from Donald Trump's resume. You got to say the COVID years don't count for either side. If you got a complete global shutdown, when things start opening up, that's when you can start counting. Before things shut down, that's when you stop counting, because it was so unprecedented. That's like, and then they said Biden was handed a turd. Biden was handed an opportunity to open up the country and see a lot of economic growth. And now he's doing so great. Well, then explain inflation. They're giving out money like candy. They've given more money to Ukraine. Under Trump, there was no money given to Ukraine. Under Trump, there was no money given to Israel. We weren't fighting no wars. Under Biden, they just print money. Trillions and trillions and trillions. And Donald Trump did increase the deficit. But a lot of the deficit increase was during COVID. Because what did they have to do? They got to send people money now because they done made you quit your job and stay at home. Them stimmy checks and all that other stuff. That was a part of the increase as well. But it's disingenuous. That's why the number one leading complaint by people and their biggest concern polling in this election is the economy. If the economy was soaring and booming and everybody had jobs, the abortion would be the top. Illegal immigration and the economy. Biden is just letting illegals into our country. So the ramifications behind letting illegal aliens in our country hadn't picked up yet. Because if you count all the illegals in our country, that's a whole nother unemployment line. They count them as population, but they don't count them as unemployed. And you got to think of it like this. Unemployment is the measure of percentage of U.S. employees who are part of the workforce but are unemployed. How do you determine that they're a part of the workforce and unemployed? Many criticism under Barack Obama was that the unemployment was a lot worse than they were saying because people had given up. People were no longer in the workforce. They're not even considered working anymore. So those people don't count towards the negative unemployment. And that's the way they do it to mask. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. Tell me how many total people are not working in America, including illegals. Because all the people that are not working are somehow on the government dole to some degree. They're still draining resources and they're not adding to the economy. So give me the real raw number of how many people are staying at home and not working. I guarantee you under Barack Obama or Joe Biden, it's probably Barack Obama actually because Joe Biden is dead. But under Joe Biden, it's probably so many more people unemployed, but they're not even engaged in the workforce. I was looking at a statistic that they were saying that the numbers that are up are people working part-time. So the increase in jobs created, most of the people are going back to work part-time. They're not working full-time. And so therefore salaries are not higher. And therefore people can't live. They're struggling. They're crying out. Our groceries are, I can go, if I can find a stat, I had it somewhere. Let's see, I go inflation is higher than the long-term average of 3.2%. The U.S. inflation rate is the percentage in which a chosen basket of goods and services purchased in the U.S. increased in price over the year. And we can go and look at the inflation numbers in groceries, the price of groceries, and somebody had a list of them. But I mean, you're talking like 40% more, 30% more for eggs. You know, it's insane what people are going through.